key, though, is to never miss a minimum payment at minimum. Missing a billing cycle means that impacts your credit score for up to 7 years.
So what are some key steps people can maybe start taking now to really start tackling this credit card debt?
So if you want to tackle your credit card debt, it's really important to get a complete understanding of how much debt you're currently in. I always recommend that people get a copy of their credit report as well as their FICO score or credit score in general. Experian offers your Experian credit report and your FICO score for free monthly. Now, this is a great tool because when you get your credit score, it's going to tell you what factors are helping or hurting your credit score. It's also going to help you, looking at your credit report is also going to help you to get a complete picture of your current debt situation.
Christina tells me once you do pay off a card, try not to cancel it completely. She says the reason why is because on a credit report, it actually reduces your overall available credit. So it actually looks like you're carrying more debt because your available credit is lower. So she tells me just to cut the card or take it out of your digital wallet so you're not tempted to use it, but try not to cancel it.
Love that.
Okay. Yeah. This video touched on a couple of different things. At first I was thinking I wanted to focus on credit cards, which is a major part of, a major effect on your credit score. But I think I want to talk about credit a little bit in general. After watching this video in full. Yeah, I think it's true, especially in our community, we see credit cards as, a means of, not to say free money, but we think it's like, it's just an instant loan, if you will, that we can just go out and buy the things we tend to use it to buy the things we want and not the things we need. I think credit cards should be only utilized for two reasons: one, in extreme emergency situations, and two, to help build your credit. Y'all know I always like to give an anecdote. So the way I got into using my first credit card, it was about 2016, I believe, and I was, of age now to rent a car. So I just needed a car for like a short trip. And, I applied on, I was with Bank of America at the time, still am, but I just applied for a Bank of America credit card right in there. I ain't know where else to go to. So based on my credit at the time, they instantly approved me for like a $300 credit line. And they sent, it was like next day, they just sent it to me. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. I just, put in some information and they just sent me some money.
Right.
But like I said, I just needed to rent a car. I had the money to rent a car, but I couldn't use a debit card at the time. They don't really, it's a lot of BS when it comes to using debit cards to rent cars. I wouldn't recommend it. But I got that credit line just to rent that car, $300. That's how it began. Far as credit, I'm just being candid. I'm being open with the audience. I have had one late payment on my credit since like in my credit card, in my credit
history,
occurring history, and that was like right when I was leaving out of college, and I was late on one student loan by like a day, and my credit wasn't good then, so it wasn't nothing to me. But having that late payment on anything on your credit score like they said, does impact it a lot. But here's the thing: I didn't realize if you keep making the minimum payments, consistently and on time, they increase your credit line without you asking. So that 300, like 6 months later, turned to 500. I was like, oh shoot, I ain't go out and buy nothing or anything. But I was like, okay, I would like maybe buy lunch maybe once a week with it just to show, the creditors that I'm using it. But, I could pay that back off immediately and just to help build my credit. And it was slowly working. My credit, the more I kept making on-time payments, my credit was slowly creeping up from like the low 600s and going up. And then 6 months later, it went to 800 and then 1100 and then 4100 and 7100. I mean, I remember all the intervals because I remember what I was doing at the time. But that's just crazy to think, the mindset. Yeah, what would your mind do if you just saw you know, based on you know, you can get caught up in your emotions or whatnot. You saw, hey, all of a sudden, my creditor gave me a $3,000 more to use.
Mm-hmm.
I never abused my credit card. I would say I abused my credit card one time, and it was my 32nd birthday in 2021. You know, uh, pandemic restrictions lighting up, and I took myself, my two brothers, and my cousin to Vegas. When I say I took us to Vegas, I paid for damn near everything with my credit card.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all seen on my Instagram and my Facebook, that was the weekend where I rented this fancy ass car. That was financially irresponsible as hell. And not only did I rent one, I rented two cars. It was just financially irresponsible.